The Israeli-Palestinian conflict continues to escalate. After suffering an unprecedented blow for 50 years, Israel vows to annihilate Hamas. Israel is not just talking. It has been pushing in this direction all along. After being attacked, Israel quickly declared a state of war, then launched a fierce counterattack, and killed a Hamas leader in the attack. Meanwhile, the Israeli government and parliament are still pushing for a declaration of war against Hamas. In addition, Israeli civilians, students, and officials are enlisting one after another. Currently, 100,000 reserve troops have been mobilized. This means that Israel could launch a ground offensive on the Gaza Strip. In this context, the Israeli military announced its war objectives. According to the Peninsula News Network, Israeli military spokesperson Jonathan Conricus stated that Israel has already assembled 100,000 reserve troops near Gaza to deal with the ongoing war with Hamas. Conricus announced Israel's objectives to ensure that at the end of the war, Hamas will no longer have any military capability that threatens Israeli civilians. Also to ensure that Hamas cannot rule the Gaza Strip. However, according to Israeli sources, infiltrated Hamas militants in Israel have not been completely eradicated yet. Now Israel is retaliating by conducting airstrikes in Gaza as a form of retaliation, while searching for infiltrated militants. After this round of operations is over, it is highly likely that a ground offensive will be launched. At that time, a full-scale war will be inevitable. It can be seen. The war objectives announced by Conricus are actually the objectives of Russia's special military operations against Ukraine, to demilitarize Ukraine, and also the objectives that NATO wants to achieve in countering Russia. The United States and NATO have been supporting Ukraine to exhaust Russia through Ukraine, and also to prevent Russia from launching another war. This once again proves the importance of national defense. Without defense capabilities, one will be vulnerable to attacks. Compared to NATO and Russia, it is obviously easier for Israel to achieve its goals. Hamas military strength is very weak. Due to Israel's comprehensive blockade and surveillance, it is very difficult to develop military capabilities. Hamas needs to try every possible means to obtain the materials needed to manufacture weapons. At the same time, there must be extremely hidden places for production and storage. And in terms of obtaining external assistance, it is also full of difficulties. Long tunnels need to be dug for transportation. It can be said, as long as Israel intensifies its blockade and adopts a scorched earth policy towards the Gaza Strip, Hamas military power can be completely destroyed. However, Hamas is not a pushover. They do not have enough resources to confront Israel tactically. But at the strategic level, Hamas level is very high. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been fighting Israel for so many years. They have even caused the biggest damage to Israel in the past 50 years. The last time Israel was so embarrassed was when Syria and Egypt joined forces. Now Hamas has achieved it alone. It proves that this organization is not a group of amateurs, but rather, they are intelligent. In fact, although Palestinians have had a difficult fate, they live a difficult life, that among the Arab world, they rank high in terms of education. Hamas has been able to develop until now. They rely not on recruiting armed militants everywhere, but on developing a large number of technical talents. And then, relying on these people, many miracles were created. For example, using white sugar and urea as fuel for rockets. Therefore, Hamas should not be underestimated. Israel has already paid a heavy price for underestimating the enemy. If the opponent is still not taken seriously, even if victory is eventually achieved in the war, it will come at a significant cost.